Well, hello. It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. So, let's dive into it in this holiday decorated set. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, what did you think of the music? I will be addressing that at the end of the video, along with some other topics, so let us know down in the comments. So let's take a look at some pens. Before I start this, I just want to mention I think I have solved my lighting issues. Weirdly enough, that was solved by putting the lights up higher. I barely changed them from when I'm filming myself. And I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, so from left to right, we have the Nakaya Decapod Twist. We have the Parker 51. We have a Senator 210. Yeah, time to get political on this channel. We have a Lamy 2000 with the amber finish. We have a Reform. I don't know its name, but I'm going to call it the Reform Brown, because it's brown. It's a good enough reason, right? I have a Platinum President, so we'll get some more politics in here. A Columbus 65, which I can't believe I haven't written with in a long time, but yeah, I'm glad I inked it up. And the Lamy 2000 is enjoying its last sips of ink for the year. As always, we'll be doing the writing sample in this Cognitive Surplus Theory notebook. So I had a comment recently from somebody who bought a Cognitive Surplus. I'm hoping they bought the Theory because the Hypothesis used to have good paper for fountain pens. And I even filmed a video saying so. And then they went and changed the paper on me. So the Theory is still good for fountain pens, but the Hypothesis is no longer good for fountain pens. So, they're still pretty notebooks, though. And I don't mind writing on one side. So I've had my other Nakaya out recently, so I decided to give this one a spin. I love this pen. This is my first Nakaya. So this is the Nakaya Decapod Twist. I enjoy this fingerprint magnet finish. It shows how much I've been using it. But it's just a very attractive pen. And when I uncap it, pretty sweet. And it has the word squirrel written on the section here. So, we're going to see how she writes. So this is the Nakaya. Nakaya Decapod Twist, and it is a soft, fine nib. My other Nakaya, I had a soft, fine, but had it made extra flexible. This is just the regular soft, fine. I like it a lot. It's just perfect. The ink in it is Akkerman. Which has probably the coolest ink bottles of any brand. Groenmarkt, Smaragd, which means greengrocer, I guess. Do my little swatcher doodle. So it's a very attractive green. It's a little bluer than I might like, but it is a nice green. So there is a piece of me tempted for this as my final green. Because, as you know, I'm working on using up ink. Haven't used this one up yet. I got a long way to go. Let's see if I can grab the right bottle here. Yeah, here we go. So still a lot to go. But yeah, see what I mean? These are cool bottles. Oh, there we go. Knocked the marble loose. So there's a marble in top that holds the ink in place. It's easier to see when the bottle's clean and empty. But I've made good progress. I'm not there yet. It'll be a while. But I'm almost out of Ghat Green, which is going to show up in the next pen. So this is the Parker 51. So I saw a post recently from one of my viewers on Instagram, and he had a picture of himself, but behind him was a pass in India where he was hiking. So this is the Parker 51. And anyway, apparently Ghat is mountain passes. So this is Krishna, which is an Indian maker. Ghat Green. I'm not sure who in America is selling Krishna inks right now. I used to get them from, not Anderson Pens. One down in, like, Alabama or Arkansas or something. Little Rock, Arkansas. As soon as I stop recording, I'm going to remember the name of the retailer. But anyway, they used to have some of these brands that, people don't think of. But their Krishna selection is dried up by the last time I looked. And Van Ness Pens. Got it. It's Van Ness Pens. They've quit selling it, apparently. Or they can't get it. I don't know which. But since I haven't been buying inks for several years, I guess I don't care. All right, moving on. So here's a pen that I haven't had out in a long time. This is a Senator. Did I give the Parker a twirl? I don't remember. We'll give it a twirl just in case. Parker 51. The old clip. And no nib. Oh, there it is. She's hiding. She's hooded. Alright. So, Senator 210. So one of my complaints about Senator is I don't always know model numbers. But this one makes it pretty obvious. So this is a twist cap. It has a segmented ink window. I have not written with this one in a long time. So I inked it up this week. So it's got a steel nib, not a gold nib. But you'll find the same feed with some of their gold nibs. A lot of the Senators I've found have Bach nibs, actually. So this is a Senator. And for a steel nib, it's not a bad little writer. There's definitely some line variation. The ink in it is Pelikan 4001 Violet. Also a bottle that is close to being empty. So I've got several other violet inks in the hopper for when I use this up. But I really like it. It's just such a nice color. I have some Dea Trementis Violet, which is a scented ink, which is a little weird. And I have some Califolio Violet. And whatever Poicier de Lune is, I don't know if that classifies as a violet or not. Alright, this is my Lamy Amber. This was a special edition several years ago. I waited till I found it at a price I was willing to pay. Right now they have a special edition with a green mackerel on. No plans to purchase it. It's expensive. But maybe in the future, if I see it at the right price. So this is a Lamy. Yeah, that's sexy, isn't it? Lamy 2000. This is an oblique broad nib. And the ink in it is Lamy Turquoise. Now, normally with a Lamy pen, like the last pen I'm going to write with tonight is a Lamy, I can tell when I'm almost out of ink. I mean, their ink window is very narrow. It's not the best for judging ink levels. That Senator I had here is much better. But with their metal pens and this amber finish, you don't have any ink window. So I have no way of knowing how much ink is left in this pen. But that's a nice ink too. Let's see here. Pelikan. This is the violet. I have to really tip it on its side now to fill from it. So that's exciting. Making progress. Here's the Ghat green. Probably shouldn't have tipped it on its side because now I can't tell how much ink's in it. Anybody else close? The Lamy Turquoise has got quite a ways to go. And actually, Omas Black is almost out. That we'll talk about that later in the video. I don't see anything else. Oh, Noodler's Black Swan and Australian Roses is almost used up. All right, so this is a Reform. I'm going to call it a Reform Brown because it's, brown. Yeah, I could call it a Reform Chocolate. We got a Reform logo here, very stylized. It looked like a bug the first time I saw it, but if I turn it right, you can see it's an R. Okay. Oops. Slip cap. Here's a cool nib. And weirdly enough, it's a 14 karat nib, which I wasn't expecting when I pulled the pen out, because I was sure I remembered it being full of, or having a steel nib. So we'll call this a Reform Brown. I think it wanted to run out of ink there for a second. I don't know a nib size. I don't see one written there. But what I do know is that the ink is Herbin, J. Herbin, Lee Dete. Now, when I went to fill this pen this week, I wanted to fill it with Pelikan Smoky Quartz. I can't find my bottle. So does that mean I used it up? I don't know. But anyway, Lee Dete is a very attractive brown. It's kind of antique-y, if antique is a word. Almost like you're writing with tea. Which maybe was what they were going for. I should probably have looked up what that means in French, but I didn't. Poussière de lune, I know, means moon dust. But whatever. Very nice brown. And very shady. I like it. The bottle, not such a fan of the bottle. It's tipping it on its side to fill it because it's not really that empty, but I had to fill that pen. It's very awkward to get at the ink. There is a nice little pen rest, but oh, I guess I can fit that pen in there. Some of my pens won't even fit on the pen rest. All right, so then we have, give it the full effect here. We have the Platinum President. With the famous Platinum President nib. So this goes on all their Izumo pens. As Platinum President is no longer sold in America, although I've been told it's still being made. And it's a shame, because it is a good pen, but yeah, it never got the attention their 3776 line did. So I think a lot of people just never thought of it. Mine is broad, and then I had it ground to a cursive italic, which definitely makes it fun. The ink in it is Sailor Jentle Apricot. Their old bottles were awful. So I dumped it into an empty Lamy bottle. It makes me a lot happier there. That's a decent ink. I like the smell of Sailor inks. nice bright orange. It's got a little bit of shading. And it's part of a line that they've discontinued, but they discontinued it before and then brought it back for a while and then discontinued it again. So it wouldn't surprise me to see it brought back at some point. Here we have the Columbus 65. So way back I tried to buy an Aurora 88, one of the vintage ones, and that was a failure. And I saw this. It was a failure because the pen got destroyed in the mail. Yay, German Postal Service, because that's where it got destroyed, is in Germany. But this is I don't know if you want to call that an intarsia nib or if you want to call it something else. Semi-hooded, don't know. But it's quite nice. See? And I was thinking this week, why have you not been writing with this? Don't know. I mean, that's really good. And then the ink in it is Herbin. Bleu Myosotis, which is an attractive blue ink. Darker blue than my Parker Quink. I don't know. I wasn't really into Herbin at the beginning of my ink buying. Bought a lot of Noodlers back then. But toward the end of my ink buying phase, I discovered how nice Herbin inks are. So if I ever get back to buying ink again, it might be more Herbin. Lamy ink is great. Pelikan is great. Parker is actually great, but they don't have many colors. Diamine is pretty good. There are a lot of good inks out there. So, why buy unreliable, untrustworthy inks when you can get good stuff? All right, my last pen, which is about to take its Christmas bath, is the Lamy 2000. I always wash this pen out twice a year, once at Christmas, the upcoming holiday, and once, and then in the spring when school ends, I wash it out and give it a nap for the summer. So if I take a break for the summer, so does my Lamy 2000. So I got more time for pens that I can unscrew. My Omas Black is almost used up. Not quite, but I think after the holiday it will be, because one of the pens I'm putting it in is going to be a Pilot Custom 823. Oh, shoot. Talking too much. So I think I'm going to put it in a Parker Jotter first, and then when that runs out, I'll put it in the Pilot. So this is Omas Black, a discontinued ink, and an ink that made me think to myself, why did you buy so many bottles of ink? Don't know. Why did you buy so many bottles of black ink? Don't know. But I did. There's a reason you see this every week. Sometimes I think I just shouldn't include it in these videos, but then people forget I'm using it. Are you still using your Lamy 2000? Yes. So I include it every week. But there's this narrow little ink window. Doesn't show up in my preview, but trust me, it's there. Oh, there we can see it. Anyway, it's just comfortable to hold. Some people don't like these little ears that hold the cap on, but they don't bother me any. It's quick to deploy because you just go whoop, and we're ready to write. Piston turning knob is well engineered. It's just a great pen. What do you want me to say? I like it, okay? I really like it. So, those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. As you can see, I'm struggling a little bit with giving the Lamy 2000 a bath and a nap, but we're going to do it. Okay, maybe one last snort of Omas Black before you go take your nap. All right, that was weird and awkward. Let's go back to my face now that I've embarrassed myself completely. So those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. You might have seen some that haven't appeared in a while. The Columbus, I'm like, why haven't you been writing with that? That's a fun pen. The other two, yeah, they're interesting vintage pens, but they're not as special. But that Columbus is a lot of fun, so why haven't I been writing with it? Don't know. But anyway, I wrote down a couple of things I wanted to address. One of them, you might have noticed I used a different piece of music at the beginning of this. Let's see if I remember which one I used. As I Figure. It's by Kevin MacLeod. He makes a lot of music that is free to use on YouTube, as long as you give the licensing. So that's what I did. I used that piece. You're going to hear another piece next week. I have 4 lined up. 2 of them are more peppy. 2 of them are a little more mellow. And I am going to keep my ears open for other pieces, but I should have an update on this Pens and Use situation with the music by next week. But I think I'm just done fighting the fight. I'm just going to move on and not use that music anymore. So, sayonara to sayonara. But anyway, after I use these 4 pieces of music in the next few weeks, or more, because I may discover some others as I wander through YouTube's music library, or people recommend. And yeah, if you've got one to recommend, please comment down below. I've got a video I made with the 4 I have lined up. Hoping to make it like a poll or something on the YouTube community tab. So look forward to that in probably about 4 weeks. So in other exciting news, I've been working on notes for a video to respond to what turns out to be my most popular video of all time. So my most popular video on this channel's history is a little driving video I did on the East River Road about why I live in North Dakota. Nope, sorry, I'm thinking of a different drive. It is why I live in North Dakota, but it wasn't on the East River Road. It was a different set of roads. But anyway, so it was one of my earliest ever driving videos. I'm embarrassed by how I filmed it, but it is what it is. And I thought it would be fun to do a response to that with why not to like North Dakota. You know, I'm not going to be mean-spirited or anything, but, you know, honest. Here's some issues with living in North Dakota. So I'm going to publish that in the next couple of weeks. I also have some more researched videos that are just about ready to have their audio filmed. So expect those to be coming up. Some of them are on the teacher shortage, which, you know, if you don't have a teacher shortage where you live, good for you. You're lucky. We have one here. And I've got a couple other more serious topics and a couple travel type videos. So I expect some stuff. Got some book reviews coming. Lots of stuff coming. And with the holiday break coming, as you can tell from the light, well, you didn't see where I touched the light. Here, we'll touch a light over here. It is that time of year when I get, this year, 2 weeks off. So, yay. The winter break varies in length depending on when December of 25th falls. And it falls at that perfect time this year that I get lots of days before December 25th. And then that puts New Year's. So I get extra days after New Year's Day off. So, yeah. Nice long break. Don't know what my plans are. I don't like to make plans too far in advance this time of year because all it takes is a snowstorm to ruin them. So, no, not reserving a motel room or anything like that in advance, because it would be very awkward to be stuck here at home saying, well, I drive, but there's 2 feet of snow in the driveway. So, Don't know what I'll be doing over the holiday break, but some YouTube stuff for sure. Other things coming up, I've got some ink stuff coming, some vintage pens. In fact, this coming week... let me grab it here. This coming week, I'm going to talk about these 3 pens. Now, I don't have my glasses on. I can't tell which one's which. Needing glasses sucks. Okay, so I've got a Reform 4383 here. I got a Reform 4251. And another Reform 4251. And one of them, there was a little bit of controversy over it in my comment section when I did the video. And I think it's time to hammer it out. So we're going to have a little rodeo. I might even bring out my 4382. No, or 4283. Doesn't matter. Anyway, another Reform pen. So none of these are the pen you saw tonight, but I think it'll be interesting. And I got a very detailed response from the company that sold it to me. So they had a lot of intelligent things to say that were like, oh, I didn't think of that. So yeah, we're going to address all of that. So look for that this coming week. I'm hoping to do, because it's the end of the year, some specials. I haven't really done end of the year specials in a few years. Often I would do them sitting over there where you can't see. But, I would just do top 10 pens or something. So a couple of things I'm looking at is maybe some favorite inks. Parker Quink Washable Blue? No, that won't be on the list. But I thought maybe we'll do some top 5 vintage pens, some top 5 modern pens, some good pens for new pen people, maybe something typewritery, who knows. And just a little bit about the future of the channel. Also saw Fran Lab. She was talking about the AI that is writing video descriptions automatically for YouTube videos, in addition to the ones that the YouTuber created themselves. And she has quite a few things to say about that. She gets called a man by the AI sometimes. She gets called they by the AI sometimes. And then she got into the AI's suggested responses for comments, because you may not know this, but us creators get suggested responses, and usually they've been canned stuff like thanks or great, you too, with a thumbs up emoji or something. And now they're doing like multi-sentence suggested responses, and it's just like, but part of what I like about doing YouTube is the chance to interact in the comments. I am not going to have that taken away. Maybe if somebody's comment is, great job, Wasky Squirrel, then I can respond with a canned thanks. But, some people really pour out a lot in the comments. Some people pour out too much. You're like, oh, barriers here. Maybe keep that one private. But, it's, the interaction is what I enjoy. So I guess if you're a larger channel and you can't respond to all comments, maybe that's what you do. I always, you may have noticed if you've commented that sometimes it'll take 3 or 4 days for me to respond, because I schedule my response time, and if I don't get to all the comments in my scheduled time, well, it's just going to happen the next time I have scheduled, because I'm not going to let comments take over my life. But anyway, I will put a link to her video in the video description. And anyway, I've been thinking a lot about where's this channel heading, and yes, it's going to continue doing fountain pens. Expect to see more Survivor pens, because I'm actually kind of enjoying revisiting some old pens. And some pens I'm now revisiting for the second time. One of the things I haven't liked about the pen reviewing thing, that I often, when I get a new pen, you get to see me write with it for the first time, and then the talking part is filmed weeks or months later, and I get to talk about, oh yeah, this thing that I first thought, that's changed a little. But then you come back and revisit a pen 5 years later, well, that's a sign. There are some pens that will never be revisited because I don't like them, and I got rid of them, which is my pens not in use that I started doing every year. Sold pens or given away pens or whatever. But, yeah, my pen buying is not what it was. I buy new pens occasionally. I buy vintage pens occasionally, but it isn't what it was. I want to start doing more repair videos. I keep saying that, but I haven't done it, so I want to start because I own these now, so I can see what I'm doing again. But yeah, so well, thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old, and at all price points, I'd invite you to subscribe. And hey, what do you think of the piece of music I used this week, as I figure? Let me know down in the comments. And we'll just send you off on some country drive in North Dakota. Don't know what yet. Need to get some winter footage, too, because it's about to turn into winter on December 21st. And I don't have any yet, and I don't have much snow out there, so it's not going to look real wintry, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, but we'll get something for the title screen. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.